Good evening, Yorkshire Classic Cars Limited fans. Joining me on yet another beautiful and it's overcast and grey. I've decided to do a little rundown here. This is something that I've thought about for a long time. Basically, what to get your other half, wife, husband, lover, sheep, dog, I don't care really. But the fact is, what to get them if they are a classic car lover for a gift or for specifically for Christmas. So I'm going to lead in with a bit of a list. Number one, key rings. All right, no classic car should be without a key ring. This is one I've had many years. It's a turbo. I had that even without a turbo. It cost a couple of quid and it's cool. I have had my Skull and Crossbones key ring for many years. And this one is a more expensive. It's on a Mercedes key, obviously, and it's a Mercedes-Benz one. We all love a key ring, even if it just helps you know which car that set of keys belongs to. That one's probably the most expensive of the lot. The little turbo one's silly. It makes turbo noises when you blow through it. And I've had that years and it appeals to me. Just a silly little gift. I would love that. If my girlfriend bought me something like that, I'd think that was cute and funny. Okay then? So that is number one. So number three, please excuse the mess and obviously excuse the fact that I'm shouting. Scale electric cars, slot cars. They don't have to be scale electric, obviously. Most of these are. As you can see, I've had to bring you home and I've forgotten my microphone, so I'm shouting a little bit. If you can't afford a real classic, buy a slot car track of some variety and buy some beautiful slot cars. I have a massive collection. I would like to say I've bought them all, but lots of them I had bought for me when I was a child. And because I never tell my girlfriend what I want for Christmas, she buys me a slot car for Christmas, birthdays, you name it, I've got them. Okay, so some of my favourites in there are around there. I don't actually know where they are now. I've got Capri up there, Bubble Arch Mark 1. Okay, like that. Somewhere in there, I have an R32 GTR. There, okay. I have F1 cars, I have E-types, I have GT40s. I'm not going to lie, I'm never going to be able to afford a GT40. I'm never going to be able to afford an XB Falcon, but I've got one of those in there as well. They retail anywhere up to 60, 70 quid, unless you're getting collectible ones. If you're wanting to buy someone a track so they can enjoy slot cars and playing a little bit, and everybody sort of ekes back to the childhood, the old classic type slot cars, like, for example, this Mark III Capri, okay, are literally for nothing. This one's obviously been ruined by somebody at some time. I've just kept it. It's one I sold and then bought back. The BMW M1 I had many years ago. These are relatively cheap, second-hand obviously, but anywhere around 20 quid. There's an F40 Ferrari. Never going to buy an F40, but I've got one. There it is. They work on certainly scale electric track as long as you're not using digital. Got some of the more collector's cars here. Excuse my reflection in the mirror there. You can see my socks. I like the movie cars, so I've got things like Kit down there, and I've got the Blues Brothers car there, and lots of other ones, lots of Yanks, lots of race cars. The fastest car in the cupboard, well, tell me in the comments if you know which one's the fastest car. The Dukes of Hazzard Charger, some of them are more expensive. You don't have to spend a fortune to have a bit of a play. That's a good car there, the orange AC Cobra, that's brill. But yeah, if you wanted to start somebody a bit of a collection, then you can buy one for birthdays, you can buy one for Christmas, get them a little bit of track. If you get used second-hand classic track, so the stuff that's slotted together, scale electric track, it's literally, you can't sell it, you can't give it away just about, nobody wants it anymore, and it's brill. You can clean it up and use it. These classic cars don't work as well as the modern ones, but they're still pretty good and you can work on them. And if you can't afford a real classic, you can spend a few hundred quid and have all the classics you like. Number three, wheels. We all love wheels. Okay, wheels are absolutely essential for any classic vehicle of any ilk, really, unless you're driving a tank or an half track. Okay, it could be standard wheels. It could be standard wheels and tyres. So, for example, the Spitfire has standard wheels and tyres. It could be a big fat set of rotors like on my GTR over there, which are ludicrously expensive, okay, and nice. It could be something like the wheels on my Capri that are, again, big and fat and ludicrous. However, although wheels look great and they can be cool and they can make a car, you need to know what your partner, friend, dog, sheep, whatever it is, needs for their car or wants for their car. Don't just rush out and buy a set of wheels that you think are cool, because they might not think so. I wouldn't ask my girlfriend to buy me wheels without telling her which wheels to buy. If you're going to buy wheels, joking aside for a second, you need to know important things. You need to know how much it's going to stick out. You need to know how wide they need to be. You need to know what ET they are, so how much it sticks in or out from the rim to fit the car, okay? Now, obviously, I've widened my Capri. You can see that I've put those big hoofing arches on there. And I'd done all that, and then I bought wheels that fit. Those are a 7.5, 8-inch front space on those. No idea what the ET is. All I know is they fit in the arch, and the arches were modified to fit. Same with the Skyline. Those are 12-inch wide wheels with a 50mm or 2-inch wide spacer. It's no use just buying the biggest, most expensive wheels and going, wow, they're cool, they've got to be best. You need to know the stud pattern. The PCD, Ford is 108mm, 4.25-inch PCD. Spitfires are 101, I think. There might be 98, but they're an oddball, like minis. Stags are 114 or 4.5-inch PCD. So you need to know what your car is. Most cars are different. Not all Fords are 4-stud anymore. 5-stud Fords are different again. So you need to know. So it's important to ask the question if you're going to purchase somebody a set, a pair, or some nice new wheels. However, what I will say is wheels maketh a car. That person is never going to forget that you bought those class wheels for that car. Now, I'm about to change the wheels on my Capri, and my girlfriend doesn't even realise that's what she's buying me for Christmas. Love you, darling. Number 4. Okay, steering wheels. Steering wheels are a bit like little wheels. Obviously, they're a lot cheaper. Steering wheels differ in price significantly. But again, they can make a car, even if it's just a standard fresh wheel or new wheel, or even a reconditioned wheel. If you have I had a 4-spoke Ford RS steering wheel. I gave it to a friend. Basically need retrimming, and it's very difficult to get somebody to retrim a steering wheel because it is very difficult to do. I tried to do it myself, and after a couple of attempts, I sort of sidestepped it and left it because it was just so difficult. Steering wheels differ in price. Cheap wheels, probably dangerous, and I probably wouldn't buy one. Buy something good quality. Get the best you can afford. That's the old chestnut of this. If you look at the wheel in my Capri, that is a code wheel. I bought that second hand. It's a deep dish suede affair. I like that. It fits nicely. It goes nicely in the car. If we go over to the Spitfire, that's got a Nardi, I believe, or it might be a Motor-Liter. I think it's Motor-Liter. Wood-rim steering wheel. Now, a lot of classic car owners like wood-rim steering wheels. I'm not a big fan personally, but of course, we're all different. But most classic car owners will love a wood-rim steering wheel in their car. Expensive? Yes. Last a long time, okay? Again, thoughtful gift. They will love you for it, okay? I would love my girlfriend more for a wooden steering wheel than I would for another pair of underpants. A postscript on steering wheels, even if you're buying a standard one, if you're buying a standard wheel out of, say, for example, a Spitfire, I have a standard Spitfire wheel over here, I shall show you. Okay, there is a standard Spitfire wheel on the shelf next to an old Australi that is millions of years old, as you can see by the dust on it. And I had a mount this somewhere, but I think I've given that away. Now then, steering wheels need to fit the car. Now, there is nothing worse. You will appreciate this. As a child, you remember getting a gift at Christmas and somebody forgot to buy the blinking batteries. Okay, so you were stuck with the most fabulous grandstand, Mini Munchman. We all remember Mini Munchman. And you were sat there without any LR44s and you cried a little bit. If you're going to buy a steering wheel, buy the Boss. The boss is the bit that goes between the steering wheel and the steering column. The column's in the car, the wheels are the bit you've bought, and you need the boss to go between. There are a few different types. Okay, so if I just take you back to my code wheel, oops, it's got 3 bolts in it in a minute, but you can see it's got a small bolt circle. So those are like a wheel PCD. That is the same as a Momo steering wheel, or the small bolt circle wheel. Now then, mine's on a special custom removable boss. You can't just fit that to any car. That's for a racing car and it's welded on. So don't really want to buy one of those unless that's what you've been asked for. If I take you back over to the Spit has a multi-hole boss, as you can see there. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bolt holes around it. Some will have 8, some will have 6. They all have a specific boss, and you need to get the boss that is right for the car. The car has a column. I have prepared a column here. This is one I'm going to fit in the Spitfire. If you can see there on the spline, oops, where are you? There you are. Get you into zoom you into focus. See there on the spline, they are usually a different diameter spline and a different number of splines. And underneath that, there's a taper you can see just under that big washer. You need the correct one for your car. If you get the wrong one, it is dangerous. Okay? Now, a Capri boss that fits my Mark 1 Capri will not fit a Mark 3 Capri. A Mark 2 Escort will not fit a Mark 1 Escort. It will not fit a Capri. Some Mark 1 Escorts fit Mark 1 Capris and so on and so forth. However, the person you're purloining your steering wheel from, or a company that deals with that car, so maybe Burton Power for Ford stuff, they will be able to sell you a boss that fits. Yes, it's an added expense. Consider that if you're thinking about buying a steering wheel, but yeah, well worth having it, because otherwise it's a little bit, as I say, like getting a mini Munchman with no LR44s. You cry a little bit. Now then, the steering centre usually comes with that, and as a postscript to that, if you want to add a gear knob to it that matches, they might like it. Now, things like Spitfires and Stags, the gear knob has a overdrive switch in it, so you can't buy them for that really, but a lot of cars will take a fancy gear knob as well. You might not want to change it, you might, but usually you can get them as matching set. Number 5 and 6. Number 5 and 6, try not to take my shoes and socks off. I'm going to combine. So we're going to say track days and or classic car driving experiences, okay? We've all seen driving experiences, but you can drive classic cars. Now, you may be into the Fast and the Furious. You want to drive a replica or a car that's made to look like one of the Fast and the Furious cars. I've seen R34 Skylines, all sorts. You may want to drive a Lotus Cortina. You may want to drive a GT40 or an AC Cobra. You may just want to drive a car that you're thinking about buying. So a Spitfire or a Stag or whatever, R32 GTR for all I know. Either way, I'm fairly sure that as a gift, that would be exceptionally good. I would like that a lot. So part 6 or part 5B, whichever you like, track days. If your partner, other half, better half, worse half, whatever half, wants to do track days, some do, some don't. I'm not a big fan of track days. I love drag racing, I love run what you bring in. So you could pay for that. You could also pay for them to go on a track day and book a track day for them at any of the local tracks that do track days for people who can just drive in and take their car on the track. With classic cars, I know a lot of classic cars do get driven on track days. I know a lot of them get driven raced seriously. I race in a series of my car. So, you know, my partner isn't likely, my girlfriend isn't likely to buy me one of those days because it's a couple $100 for a weekend. But the classic car experiences days would probably be of more interest. But it depends what you like. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you have a GT40 or an AC Cobra and you don't want to drive one of those. I can only speak for the UK here. I'm assuming they do those things in America. If somebody does a Dodge Charger 68, 69, 70 test day, yeah, I'd love to drive one of those. Not because I think they'll be exotic or anything, but just because I love them as a car. One last thing I'll say there, And I'll add this to it. My girlfriend doesn't come with me when I go drag racing. She hates it. She hates it with a passion. She doesn't moan and groan about it. She's really good about it, to be fair. But you know what? I'd love it if she'd come with me and do it. And just come and watch or be with me when I go there. I know she would, but I know she also wouldn't enjoy it, so I don't ask her to do it. But if you're of an ilk that you'd like to do it, go with your partner. They'll enjoy it and they'll appreciate it. Number 7, tools. Okay, if your other half, significant other, likes working on their own car, and let's be fair, if you have a classic car, usually you do, then the chances are they will always be interested in buying tools. Okay, and I don't mean tools like me. I mean tools that can actually help you with your car. So, for example, I will show you a little bit of something I use every day. You see that there? My girlfriend bought me that little socket set. It's a quarter drive socket set. It's all metric, long reach and short reach. And it came from a very, 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 very popular and well-known parts store. Okay, it's the professional range, which are good quality. I believe, I could be totally wrong, but I think made by Mac Tools. Somebody once told me that, but I can't clarify it. I use that socket set every single solitary day on something. As you can see, the 8mm is missing, but weirdly, the 10mm is still there. If I'm a box full of 10mm sockets, I might enjoy that. It's a little quarter drive ratchet. It's obviously not for tightening things to within an inch of the life, but it's of use. I take that on holiday with us because, let's be fair, if something silly breaks on the car, it doesn't take a lot of room if it's in a little carry case. So it's mobile to go in the boot of your car when you go out and about doing stuff. It goes everywhere with me, and I think it was only about 30 quid when it was bought. No idea what they cost now, but they are well worth buying. Further to that, this hammer here, my dad gave me that hammer. It means a lot to me because my dad gave me it. It's one of my favourite hammers, and I know it looks absolutely battered, but it's done a lot of work. I would have been as happy of that as I was of that. Okay, tools are great. I would add to that, don't buy rubbish. If you're going to buy somebody a gift of tools, don't spend £200 on rubbish, lots and lots of rubbish tools. Spend £200 on something they're going to use and it will last forever. Good names, good quality. There's hundreds of them. I'm not going to list them all. It's an expansive list. But yeah, the screwdrivers, Phillips, Posi-Drive, you know, stuff like that. Straight screwdrivers. I like quite a lot of those tools from that particular store. They are very, very good. Don't use those completely, but they are very, very good. Things for taking your oil filter off, that tenner, well worth having. Add it to your toolbox. Just silly little things like that. You don't have to go out and buy specific tools for a specific car. You're not talking about hub pullers for stags or slide hammers, you know. But basic maintenance tools, well worth having in your armoury if you don't already. And I know, you know, they're well worth having a spare of, even if you've got one already. You know, a good quality battery drill, something like that, always well worth having. All right. Number 8, okay. I think could have miscounted. Number 8 is a simple one, okay. Buy him a car fire extinguisher. It could be just a small plain clipping extinguisher. Get the best quality one you can. Most classic cars would benefit from a fire extinguisher. If they haven't got one already, well worth having, okay? And you know what, as a present, they're not going to feel weird about using it. Just put it in there, keep it somewhere safe. Nobody wants them or their car to go up. And I'll tell you now, having seen a friend's car set on fire, they go up like that. Now, I appreciate the extinguisher you've got may not do anything at all. You might, you know, you might have an electrical fire or a petrol fire under the bonnet, and it's just going to go, and that's that. But a small extinguisher is well worth carrying in your car. As a gift, brilliant thing to have and to give someone. Because it's something you might overlook. I've done it myself. When my car's finished, it's going to have a plumbed-in fire extinguisher, and I know full well my girlfriend would definitely buy me that for Christmas. Because when she's strapped in there, you apparently, I'm told to get out of a racing car, you've got to be able to do it within 30 seconds. I can assure you, if you sit for 30 seconds exactly and feel how long that is, just imagine that being on fire. Then, you know, a built-in fire extinguisher is a good idea. Now, I'm not recommending a built-in fire extinguisher for every car in here, you know, but a fire extinguisher in the boot or somewhere where you can get to it easily, even in the car, Obviously on the continent, I believe it's mandatory. I don't know about the States, Australia, places like that. I know it isn't in the UK, but I actually think it should be. Doesn't have to be huge, just the largest one you can get away with. Clip it in there, keep it to hand, replace it when it gets out of date. Excellent gift to have. Really, really good one. Right, last one. I think it's 9, could be 10, could have miscounted. But the fact is, buy them what they want, ask them what they want. Now, I appreciate my girlfriend gets this point every year, birthday and Christmas, and says, what would you like for Christmas? Is there anything you've got your eye on? You've been talking about that radio controlled car or that scale electric car or whatever, and I'll go, it's really expensive. I don't really need it. I've got one already, blah, blah, blah. Ask them. Some of the things I've said in here, things like key rings and stuff, just buy them anyway. They don't cost a lot of money. They're going to be less than a £5, so, a fire extinguisher, I don't know, 30 quid. So they're worth having anyway. They're things you can just buy for someone without actually asking them. If there's something like wheels, steering wheels, stuff like that, ask them what it is they want. Rather than spending a huge, massive wad of cash, I can only speak for myself. I'm 50, I'm not 15. I'm not going to be devastated if you ask me which steering wheel I want for my car, or which wheels I want for my car, which wheel nuts I want for my car, or whatever. You don't have to surprise me. Not going to give any secrets away here about, Santa and stuff. But the fact is, just if there's something specific, men, I can only speak for being one. But we tend to not really let you know. We feel like we've hinted at it enough. And I can only talk for my girlfriend. I obviously don't talk for my girlfriend, but the fact is I can only go by the fact that she will go, a what? So, sort of kind of explain it to your partner if there's something you want. If you're the partner, listen, just take it on board. Write it down. Part numbers, screenshots from Summit Racing Equipment, screenshots from Rock Auto, screenshots from Rimmers, I don't know, whomever, all right? But screenshot stuff and just say, that's what I want. That saves a lot of stress and heartache when Christmas is here. And I think that's a blooming good idea, if I'm really honest. Okay, so last one. If you're still with me, thank you. If you're still sat there thinking, oh, my days, she's got all that. It's all bloody rubbish. Can't afford a set of wheels. Can't afford anything else. I will give you the clue. Just made myself a pot of, Bruce Gajewski. Mugs. Okay, you can get mugs with most car manufacturers' logos on them. You can get ones that look like old oil cans. I did buy some once, but they were a bit rubbish and fell to pieces. Sublimation printing is excellent, and they can put just about anything on a mug for you today, even a picture of your own car. You can get pictures of your children on there. You get a picture of your partner's car. Sorry, I slurped my coffee. Used to be a school teacher, drink a lot of coffee. But mugs are great. They're good for in the cheap mugs especially. They're great for in the garage because when you break it and smash it, lose your temper and smash it with a hammer, knock it off your bench or your vise, it's always worth having a couple more. And with that, if your partner, significant other has a garage, get my kettle for in there as well. Saves them walking dirty boots into the house. And also, it's quite nice to be able to make yourself a cup of tea. Yeah, that one's a bit daft. But the fact is, it is worth having a nice a mug that matches your vehicle if you go into shows and things. Now, mine is, as you can see, it's infected with every disease known to mankind. I do have another mug, but it's got foul language on it, so you're not seeing that. But they are a good, cheap gift idea. I'm going to call it a day there. Hope I've given you some inspiration. If there's anything you can suggest, whack it in the comments. Please like and subscribe. I'm doing really well at the minute, really enjoying it. Cheers. Thank you. Goodbye.